to sew. It goes either way. You used to sew and it's used to sew. We're here to talk about sewing machines, sewing culture, with a little bit of extra emphasis on Singer because I worked for Singer right before they sold their sewing division. Used to sew? Used to sew. What is used to sew? Needles, thread, bias tape, elastic, irons. Well, maybe not. That's for pressing. Sewing machines! Do you have a sewing machine? Do you want a sewing machine? Did you grow up with a sewing machine? Have you ever even thought about sewing machines other than that time in the Brave Little Toaster when the two-faced one was going, I wouldn't sew and stitch on that little rag.
Yes, welcome to Used to Sew, a production from Fox and Raven Media. This is your host, T.R. Kelly.
That's me.
My mom. And I am the producer and co-host, sometimes, Aradia. And we're here to talk about all things over the century of Singer with epilogues and caveats and side tangents. We're going to talk about fast fashion and how you too can engage with sewing fabric and stuff without buying new stuff, because all you need is stuff that was used to sew.
Used to sew.
And we're gonna get started with some just broad overview stuff, and then we're gonna find rabbit holes, and you'll never see us again unless you decide to follow us down these rabbit holes, in which case, welcome. We're glad to have you.
Actually, the whole rabbit hole thing, let's go with the sewing metaphor. We are going to go down the throat plate into the shuttle and become a massive thread jam. And we will try to untangle all those things for you. Now, unless you're actually sitting there listening to us naked, I don't want to think about that. Look at what you're wearing. Okay, sewing machine. It's such a common thing. We don't even think about it anymore, but when it was first invented, it changed the world, literally changed the world. And that's everybody, at least in the US and the UK, and actually all over the world, when you say sewing machine, people say Singer. Singer did not invent this. Isaac Singer was his name, Isaac Merritt Singer, and he was a failed actor. But he was also kind of a mechanical genius, probably a neurospicy guy. And he was fixing something one day, and somebody brought in one of the newfangled sewing machines to tinker with, and he took a look at it and said, I can do better than that. And apparently he did. We'll get into that later about who really invented the sewing machine. But when you think sewing machine and you think Singer, it was his ability to sell the sewing machine that made him such a ubiquitous presence in the whole sewing reality. Singer is the sewing machine. I worked for the Singer company in the 1980s before they quit doing sewing machines, and I got to see quite a bit of the inside workings of the company, but my favorite part was getting to work on all the old trade-in machines, because if you had a Singer, then you want a new one. Unfortunately, in the 1980s, the old ones were better than the new ones for the most part. And, you know, if I hadn't have quit on my own, I probably would have got fired for telling people, don't trade in that 401A for this 6235. You're going to be taking a terrible step backwards. I didn't say that. Anyhow.
Used to Sew is a production of Fox and Raven Media. For more podcasts from Fox and Raven Media, visit our website at foxandravenmedia.com.